What's up, wrestling fans? Joe Cronin here, along with Sean's View Entertainment, in a co-op podcast that's going to make your eyeballs bleed. JD couldn't be here because he's sick as a dog and he's puking up green stuff. Actually, he may still show up. Me and JD did plan on doing something, so don't freak out, everybody. JD's going to do something, but he's just sick as a mofo right now. And
well, Joe, I gotta chime in.
Yeah.
I'm actually the one that made JD sick.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually being blamed for that.
You're blamed for everything.
Believe it?
You're blamed for everything. You were blamed for taking my Twitter account down by a few people. I don't think it was as many people as you said.
No, maybe not. Maybe not 100. Maybe a couple hundred. No.
It was a couple, I think, very adamant people. Like there was a couple people who were like, "You did it," and I was like, "What? Why him? Like what?"
I think I think it's from the past. Like I said, when other channels went down, they went straight to me. So it was just like, oh, that's the reliable thing. Just blame Sean.
Yeah, they blame you. But then you get everyone riled up and everybody gets mad. But now people are going to see that everything is okay with everybody. And yep. Sean did not get my Twitter taken down, and I want to come out and say that I was kind of working people a bit on Twitter myself. It was most likely MTV that took it down, or Twitter. I do believe Twitter may believe that I had multiple accounts and I was spamming on Twitter. They said something like that. Now I think that's some sort of bull excuse. I think they just they didn't like my comment about the MTV video that I made. So I believe that that's really where it came from, and that's the issue.
That's funny that MTV took you down when my favorite band is Nirvana, and Nirvana hated MTV, and here you are getting taken down by MTV.
You're right. Well, they knew it. They're scumbags.
They are scumbags. You got that right.
But screw them. I don't care. But anyway, we're here. It's a little podcast. We're going to talk some wrestling, so don't go anywhere because this is going to get weird, I bet. And we'll talk
it's gonna get volatile.
Yeah. And, why you got JD sick is because you sampled his taint.
And that didn't get over so well with the crowd, I guess. And I guess his stomach, it didn't get so over well as with his stomach. Or he's kind of getting that X-Pac heat in his stomach right now, I guess.
I texted him when I saw your video about me earlier, and I was like, "Oh, Sean's doing it again. I'm gonna punch him in the face when I see him." And I was just kidding, but it was funny. It made me laugh a lot. It made me think way back to the Andre Corbiel incident.
Yeah, this has been going on for years now.
I was like, yeah, I'm a part of it again. Somebody mentioned me in a video. I remember when I used to get hate videos every day on me, and I get alerted about it, and now that it really doesn't happen anymore. So I was kind of like, yeah, cool. Somebody's pissed again. The Bald Eagle guy was mad. Bald Eagle was upset, but it was not Bald Eagle that did anything to me, guys. Obviously, I believe I did send him a message and say that I know it's not him. And I'm sorry to him.
And I mean, obviously, if it was me that put you down, we wouldn't be in this conversation right now. So that's what the people need to know is the general consensus is they need to know that we're on the same page. So if anyone has any different opinions or they come up with all these different variables, obviously, they just are in it for themselves and they want to start drama. And that's the thing. You said you haven't really seen a lot of hate videos on you. And since I haven't been doing drama in a while, I haven't had a lot of hate videos done on me. So I think that's why the pot hasn't really been stirred on my channel as much. But because if I go back to drama, then I lose subscribers, I lose viewership. I mean, for a little while, it does good, but in the long run, it actually ends up killing you. So that's why I've been trying to focus more on WWE, and obviously you've been doing good on your channel. So we're just lighting things up here on YouTube, even though YouTube's freaking broken.
Yeah, YouTube has major problems. We both are feeling that, and everybody is. And then YouTube is dropping like crazy, and then WWE is going down in the ratings. What do you think about this? Because the independent scene is spiking up everywhere. It's almost like the pool, someone drained the pool that was WWE, and the water had to go somewhere, and it's going to all these indie events around the country everywhere. And the viewership of WWE is dropping below sub 2 million. But the independent scene is seeing a 10 or 15% increase in audience.
Well, you know what that is because it's different. Look, even TNA is doing. What they're thinking outside the box mentality. TNA with this whole deletion thing. I mean, I'll admit I wish I could actually watch TNA where I am, but they keep changing channels and networks and everything. But TNA, I mean, I always read the results. I think that here's the thing with Raw. They always say, well, Sean, what would you change about Raw? What would improve Raw ratings? I can tell you what right now. You could have Austin, DX, The Undertaker, Mick Foley. You could have all those guys come back, and it would not draw ratings, and I'll tell you why. Because we are in a different time period. We're not in the Attitude Era. We're in, like Triple H said it, we're in the reality era now. And, they say, well, what would you change? Well, I will tell you what I would do. I wouldn't change a damn thing, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to see Raw get the lowest ratings they have ever had, and then that is when they will get out of this mediocre state that they're in, and they will finally be challenged because, there is no other wrestling entity that is bigger than the WWE. Even though their ratings are plummeting, and even I heard the news about the network subscribers dropping down now, they're still obviously the number one. They killed WCW, they killed ECW. And now, but it's funny because yet WWE, while they're sinking, they are now trying to work with these indie promotions. They got that United Kingdom belt now, so they're working with the UK and theyese guys from England and Ireland, and so I think it's almost like they're trying to collab with the indies promotion to get those guys out there because they realize that they need to. They're in a niche audience right now. They need to expand further, and I think that's why they're going to the indie scene right now. So if you ask me what I would change about Raw, I wouldn't change a thing. I let Raw do what it's doing, let it kill itself, and then when Vince McMahon sees the ratings go to 1 million or 1.29 or whatever it is, I think that's when the WWE will realize, okay, we have to snap out of this because there comes a time when the USA Network is going to have to step in and say, okay, guys, your ratings are not reflecting what they used to be. There's something not adding up here. And when you hear on the dirt sheets that Raw is changing the script as the show's on, or the script wasn't ready when Raw was on, that's when there's major problems. And I think, once again, it's a case where there is just way too many cooks in the kitchen on the creative team. If you had it back to a day when it was just Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara, while some of their ideas were good and some were bad, at least it got a reaction. At least the ratings were up. You don't see that nowadays. It's not happening.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's almost incredible how bad Raw is and how much better Smackdown is. Like, have you liked Smackdown more than Raw?
Oh, I mean, the creativity behind it's ridiculous. I mean, what we saw last night. I mean, Natalia's promo was great. There's a lot. I mean, that's actually a show I would go back and rewatch. I mean, I can't tell you how many times in the Attitude Era I went back and watched Raw over and over in the same week. I can't even do that nowadays. Yeah. But last night, SmackDown, I actually went back and rewatched it today on YouTube. Yeah. That's how good it was. Listen, you have to have a good mix. You can't just have all wrestling matches. You got to have a good mix of wrestling, promos, backstage skits. And SmackDown is pretty much providing that, and of course promos and mic work and all that. But
I think Raw's tried to do
Monday Night Raw.
It's come off cheesy.
They're just in this phase where it's rematch after rematch after rematch. I mean, how many more times can you see the same Sasha Banks versus Charlotte match with the same result?
When's the last time somebody, because Sasha and Charlotte is 6 times that title's changed hands in 6 months or something, or 5 months? When the hell, I believe that there's never been that many belt changes in the history of WWE ever, other than maybe other than actually the hardcore title. No other belt has ever changed hands.
And there wasn't really a lot of credibility behind that belt. I mean, that belt just got, that was kind of like a joke belt, really. I mean, it was fun and entertaining. Don't get me wrong, but in the long run, that was nothing more than like a joke holder belt. You know what I'm saying?
I like that belt when it started, and then when they went into the whole anybody could win
24/7.
Yeah, the 24/7 rule kind of was interesting for a second, but that is what killed the belt, and then it became a real joke. I almost forget sometimes that belt even existed before. I barely remember the beginning matches with it, but it was a dumb little gimmick belt, but it was.
I mean, at first, when Crash Holly did it, that was pretty entertaining because of the way he did it and the way he got over. But then it just kind of got watered down after that, and it was all right, okay.
Yeah, and Molly Holly winning it. Didn't Molly Holly win it or something? Then Helms knocked her out.
At one point, Molly, I think a couple of the Divas, all the women won it.
That's when it went to hell. It was just funny and I always hated it. The only thing I hated about it was it was like the old WWE Eagle belt. So I'd be like, no, I love that belt, and now it's just treated like this piece of trash. Yeah. Didn't Vince smash it and gave it to Foley? Isn't that what happened? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, this is my gift to you at Survivor Series in '98." And I'll never forget that. Freaking Vince is in the wheelchair and he hands it over to Mankind. I'm like, what the hell? Are you kidding me right now?
Hey, they're bringing back the old title belt, maybe.
And then all of a sudden you see it all smashed up. It's like, oh God, wow. They just wrecked a bunch of history right there.
Why haven't they turned Roman Reigns heel yet, by the way?
That's a question that you'll hear a lot. And, here's my feeling and my thinking on it. Why they have not turned Roman Reigns heel is because as soon as they turn him heel, you know what's going to happen? They're going to start cheering him. They cheer more bad guys than they do good guys. This isn't the 80s, the 90s, or even the early 2000s anymore. You're not going to get the Triple H heat or the Rock kind of heat when he was a heel or and even to an extent, I mean, you're not going to get the heat like Ric Flair had. It's not going to happen. Like I said, we're in 2016 where you got a new fan base. It's a lot of young fans watching nowadays. They really don't know the history. They don't know how it works. And they're just going off of, well, how come this guy get this kind of heat back? I mean, listen, you go to a WWE event. Remember how they used to be all signs and the crowd used to be all raucous and loud? And you don't even get that. You watch Monday Night Raw and the fans are just sitting there and you can hear a pin drop, a needle drop. It's really horrible. I mean, the fans are not even into the product. It's just like, you know what it's like to me? It's like they're a part of the show. They're a part of TV show. They're not getting involved. They're not getting engaged. And like I said, this whole Roman Reigns thing, I think it's a case where they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, because bottom line is as long as Roman Reigns, just like John Cena, is selling that merch and getting that reaction, because you don't see people leaving their seats when Roman Reigns comes out. You see them booing them. He's getting booed, even though he's not supposed to get booed. But I think that's what I would see happening is if he were to turn heel, the fans would automatically start to cheer him, and then that wouldn't make sense. I think that's the whole reasoning behind it. At least that's my theory.
I mean, maybe, but they should want something like that to start happening because they want him over. I feel like they want him over still. They really want him over.
Oh, they do.
But
Vince McMahon's very high on him.
They've got to do that though, because like Daniel Bryan has been like the kryptonite to this company at this point. They didn't even know it because we all love Daniel Bryan so much, and when he wasn't given to us the way we wanted, everyone sees Roman Reigns as the reason Daniel Bryan may have been held down towards the end. And now that Daniel Bryan can never wrestle again, apparently, everyone blames Roman Reigns, so he's never going to get over. So the first thing is, you had a guy like Daniel Bryan who was getting over in a way like Stone Cold or The Rock or John Cena, maybe not quite at their level, but close to their level, the only one that's been at that level since those guys. You got a guy like Daniel Bryan doing that, and now he can't wrestle again. You lose that guy, but he leaves a curse, a stain on Roman Reigns, because everyone is so upset at Roman Reigns, basically, and blames him, and they don't want Reigns, and they can never recover from it because Daniel Bryan can never get back in the ring, and Roman can never put over Daniel Bryan, or Daniel Bryan can never be forgiven. It just can't happen now because he's gone. It's like Goldberg.
You said, it's like a scar. These people will never forget. And you know what I would have had done? Here's the perfect time when Roman Reigns should have turned heel. Before Daniel Bryan retired and give that speech that he gave, and that is sad that he no longer wrestles. It is, and I know that kills Daniel Bryan like no other. But before that happened, and before doctor said, okay, Bryan, we can't have you do this no more because you'll be risking your health. You could possibly die if you continue to compete. I would have had Roman Reigns beat the holy hell out of Daniel Bryan right then and there, and I think that would have just put Roman Reigns so over as a heel. He'd probably be the biggest heel of the century. That if they were going to make him heel, that was the perfect time to cash in on a heel turn. Even when he got booed out of the building when The Rock held up Roman Reigns' arm that night. The next night on Raw, I would have just had Roman Reigns beat the holy hell out of Daniel Bryan. I mean, that would have been the time. I think what it comes down to here is missed opportunity. They have had many opportunities where they could have turned Roman Reigns heel and they didn't cash in on it. And I don't know why, because it's Vince McMahon that still thinks for whatever reason that Roman Reigns is this good guy that everybody cheers for. And Vince McMahon has this mindset where he actually thinks that people like Roman Reigns. And I'll admit, and I'll probably get a lot of heat for this, I'm actually a Roman Reigns fan because I think, and here's why, I think he's improved on the mic. He's not botching as much. I think he feels more comfortable with himself in the ring. I have definitely seen in the last year change in Roman Reigns. And I know some people would say, oh no, Roman Reigns has not changed. In my opinion, and like I said, you'll get killed for your own opinion, but that's okay. I think, we have seen a dramatic turn in Roman Reigns' mic work, his facial expressions, and this is what I've noticed because I don't just look at one element. I look at a lot of elements of every superstar. And when I look at Roman Reigns, obviously when he was in the Shield, nobody booed him because he was protected because he had these guys surrounding him. Then when he became his own persona, it changed the whole dynamic. Now that Roman Reigns is coming to himself, and I think what a lot of people are mad over is the fact that the way that he carries that U.S. title around like it's a piece of garbage. Now, you can't blame Roman Reigns for all of this. It's creative. You got to wonder, too. Creative has a lot to why Roman Reigns isn't getting over because it's not coming off as organic. It's not coming off as real. You can see that Roman Reigns is thinking about a script that he was reading backstage before he comes out. And that's a problem with a lot of wrestlers, not only Roman Reigns. You can blame, the way that Kevin Owens has been pushed looks like a pussy, a sissy, which is exactly right. But
he's comedy.
You can blame all the wrestlers at the end of the day, but what it comes down to is Vince and creative. And as long as we have creative and Vince McMahon into it, a lot of these wrestlers are going to be drained, and you're not going to get that real emotion that you thought you were going to get.
Yeah, it seems like they're stifled, like they're afraid to like do things. They're worried if they do something wrong. There's just over scripting going on Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. There's just a clear difference. It's absolutely a clear difference. And
obviously a different writing team on SmackDown for sure.
And I speak about Road Dogg all the time because I know that he's over there, and on Raw he's not doing the same thing. So there's a difference right there with him. And
what I don't get is how does Raw still get the better ratings? I don't understand that.
Well, it's because it's the first show that comes on for the week, and all the kids and all the people are used to not watching SmackDown, so it's much harder to get them to do it. It's almost like if I make a second channel and I tell my audience, hey guys, I'm live on Monday nights doing this, but on Tuesday nights I'll be over there on this other channel, and less people go over. Just naturally, you drop off a lot of audience anytime you change something. So, I mean, Raw's the original, and that's what happens. And then maybe these people watch 3 hours of Raw, and then they don't want to watch a second night in a row. A lot of kids probably, too, and they do shit. It just doesn't work out.
I agree with you with the whole, because I think, like you said, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of guys backstage are walking on eggshells because they fear for their jobs, because really, yeah, they can go to the indie scene, but you're not going to make more money in the indie scene than you are in WWE. So these guys, they're afraid, like you said, they are afraid to step out of the box or, think outside the box because, I fear for my job. I fear what's going to happen next. Well, I mean, look at James Ellsworth. I mean, does this guy have the life? He not only gets to work in WWE, but WWE, for the first time in history, is allowing a guy to work in the indie circuit and WWE at the same time. Well, that is unheard of.
That is being, I mean, there are a few other guys doing that too. I mean, like Devon Dudley just wrestled, but I don't know, man. Like Tommy Dreamer's upset apparently. Like Ellsworth isn't going to make his show because he can't do it because of WWE. So I believe they are stopping it now, though. I don't think he can do it anymore. Well, it'll be interesting. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to have him on my show because my Twitter is down. For anybody that doesn't know, at JoeCroninShow on Twitter, 37,000 followers on Twitter is suspended right now. Twitter just suspended my Twitter account, and there's no update on that.
And you've had that for how many years?
4 years.
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely, out of this world. I mean, if I had that many followers and my Twitter went down, I'd probably kill myself.
I'm pretty upset. I mean, luckily I can still go on it and see people commenting, but I can't do anything. So I think it's Twitter holding it to inspect and see what's going on. So I'm hoping they give it back to me. And a big reason why is because, dude, I've got contacts in the industry. Ellsworth tweets me. We talked about coming on the show this month, and now I don't think Ellsworth can come on because of WWE situation. Wow. I mean, I've got contacts with real people. It's like, so I don't know what to do. Go on a different Twitter and be like, hey, it's me. Hope you add me. They're gonna be like, get out of here, idiot. Who's this?
Exactly. That's like a job of going to WrestleMania. Who's this guy?
JD is not feeling good. I just texted JD. I said, are you alive? He said, barely, man. I feel like I'm dying.
He might want to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he's not coming on. Jesus.
Now, that's another thing that we got to get out there. A lot of people think that me and JD hate each other. No, me and JD, of course, we don't see eye to eye, and we don't, exchange Christmas presents or cards around the seasons. But, I mean, that's another thing. Me and JD, from my perspective, we don't hate it. Yeah, we've had problems and drama, just like me and Joe Cronin in the past have had drama and problems and whatnot, but we've cleared all that up. Me, him, and Joe are pretty much all on the same page now. So, just to clear that all the way, since JD, looks like he won't make the show tonight, I think all three of us are in the clear. So for anyone that wants to make up all the innuendos or all their theories, they can just let that die right now because we're all on the same page, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's fine. I mean, we all still, I think we always have that habit of digging at people, you know what I mean? And we just do. But we all have things that we can make fun of. Like, we can make fun of me for things, we can make fun of JB, we can make fun of you. But in reality, we really do all like each other. We've had freakouts before, but everybody likes each other. JD's very forgiving when it's honest, so that's pretty cool. And I mean, recently I blew up on Twitter about some things, and I did apologize to the American Bald Eagle. I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah, he didn't have anything to do with Twitter. I believe it was MTV or Twitter directly. But that being said, I forget what.
What was the exact thing you did on MTV? Now, what was so bad that would get you done?
MTV uploaded a video where they basically crapped on white guys, yep. And they took it down. But I was writing stuff like, you're racist and you're double standard, because if they did that about any other person or race, they would they'd be killed, and they did it about white men because the only people that you can be racist to publicly anymore is white men. You can't do it to anybody else. And you got the guy. What's that guy? He just got kicked off the plane for pretending, or he said that he spoke Arabic on the plane, and then they kicked him off. But he's like a prankster and makes up stuff all the time.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Oh
though.
God, I wish I could. But anyway, the thing is, it's Boy Who Cried Wolf. You know what I mean? Because he's made videos where he's lied about tons of stuff before. So why not, go onto the plane and then just start talking Arabic really loudly on purpose, and then like freaking people out. And then, then when you get booted off the plane, start recording and being like, "Oh my God, it's racism and stuff." This guy.
And now you commented this on Twitter, like on an actual video, or was it a status, or what?
I made a video that I said I was disappointed in MTV, and I think you suck, MTV, and I think you're going down, and you're really a pathetic fake news website, and that's all you are—a bunch of scumbags. And,
you made a video towards them, or was it a tweet?
I made a video towards them, and then. An hour later, my Twitter's suspended, or in the morning, my Twitter's suspended for the first time.
Now, you made a video on your YouTube or on your Twitter?
Twitter.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I didn't even know. So you make a Twitter video towards MTV, and then that's exactly when you got. Like, did it send you an email saying that your Twitter has been suspended?
Yeah, it did. They did. They suspended me later on. Hold on one second. Wow. Okay, so there's a source, actually the source is familiar to everybody, F4W Online, regarding Bayley versus Raw's Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. WWE officials wanted to do the feud earlier this year, but they postponed it as they want it to peak by WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. So that is really interesting. We've all been talking about Charlotte and Sasha, or Bayley and Sasha, for a year and a half now. And last year we got a triple threat match with Sasha Banks, but I wanted this one-on-one epic Sasha Banks match at WrestleMania, and now, if this rumor is true, my God, they're doing Bayley and Charlotte at WrestleMania. What in the world? I mean, that's gonna piss off all the Sasha Banks fans, and I'm surprised they went that way, and they didn't flip-flop that instead of having Bayley versus Sasha for a while, and then Bayley versus Charlotte, and then having Sasha come in for WrestleMania time.
Well, I'll tell you, I think all the credibility due to Vince McMahon's idea of having Sasha Banks tap out with, 3 seconds to go, 5 seconds to go. I think a lot of people are starting to turn on Sasha Banks, and that's Vince McMahon's problem now. That's his fault, because now Sasha Banks looks like a complete, she's lost all credibility.
She looks like a chump. Wait a minute, here she was buried. Hold on a second, I got this sound effect. We got to do it, Sean. Hold on, man, I got to do it. Hold on. Wait. Everybody bear with me 1 second, real quick. Bear with me. Here it is. Buried. Yeah, she was buried. You can't hear that sound effect, Sean. I'm sorry. I just played a sound effect. I apologize. But everybody else heard it. I'm going to do it again. Buried. Okay, go for it. What else you got?
Yeah, when you had her tap out like that with 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, whatever the hell it was, that's just ridiculous booking. And Vince McMahon, once again, thought that was a good idea. Here's the thing about Vince McMahon. He had a great mind. He had a great philosophy when he first started. Here's the thing. We always hear about how the guy does work his ass off, and he still does. At his age, to be, the guy hardly ever sleeps. We hear about these reports about him never sleeping, never taking a day off. He's at all the shows. He's always thinking. I think that's Vince's problem. He doesn't take a day off. He doesn't take a step back, and I think Vince McMahon is too overworked. I think he's too overloaded, and he makes these questionable decisions that a lot of people shake their heads at. And I think this is one of those, because when Vince McMahon has an idea, you're thinking, oh boy, this is going to be great. This is going to really, get things over. And now, to pop a rating on Raw, if you want ratings to get up a little bit up to the 3s or maybe the lower 4s if they're lucky, Vince McMahon has to be on the show just to get the ratings up a little bit. And that's a tie into the WWE draft. Is the draft working? Is it not working? There's a lot of people that think, SmackDown's getting the better end of the deal. Monday Night Raw is getting the horrible end of it. The draft has seen an influx, and it's seen its negatives, its upsides, its downsides. But, with Sasha Banks now, I think my thing with her now is you need to turn her back to heel, because she is no longer credible as a face anymore. No more. When she cut that promo with the crutch and all that, that's not Sasha Banks. That's not who she is. When she had that feud with Bayley and she took that kid's sign away from her. And that's who Sasha Banks is.
She's got to be that, man. That was so ferocious. You loved it. And these people haven't seen that. 70%, about 70% of the crowd didn't watch NXT. So these people have no idea why they're supposed to like Sasha Banks. They see her as just like everybody else. In fact, if anything, Becky was more over for a time because most of these people didn't see that side of Sasha Banks.
You want to know who else was more over than Sasha Banks at one point? And this is a shock. Dana Brooke. How big was that pop when she popped Charlotte in the face or pushed her down?
Yeah.
Even though Dana Brooke isn't the best wrestler, did you hear the pop that she got when she pushed Charlotte down?
Right. It's weird. And you know what, though? I don't think Sasha Banks can be on Raw and be this badass heel because Charlotte is so over. They've already built her so big that you can't just then have Sasha Banks all of a sudden be the champ. You know, it's like the division is too small. It's like a microscope. It's microscopic. It's so small that there's no room for another big badass heel. And over on SmackDown, you got Alexa Bliss. So
exactly, who's doing everything she can, and she's doing a great job with that. And I like Becky Lynch and all, but the booking behind her has been pretty terrible. Alexa Bliss is doing all the things right as a heel. She, I think, is the best. I mean, and I got to give credit where credit's due. Charlotte is a pretty good heel, but I think in all right now, if you're talking today, I think Alexa Bliss is the best heel on that roster concerning the women's division.
Yeah, maybe to some people. I mean, I feel like Charlotte just this complete package, but Alexa Bliss, I believe her. She's
coming to her own.
Yeah, and she's like reminds me of Trish Stratus a little bit. Like when she first started in NXT, you're like, oh, she's going to work on a lot of wrestling, and she's getting better and better and better. And when they first brought her up and she was in those like 6-person tags and whatever they did, I forget even when that was or what those matches were. But I just remember like Naomi messed a few things up and like Natalya messed up stuff. But like Alexa Bliss had a lot of stuff to do in that match and she didn't botch anything. She didn't miss anything. And it was like, man, damn, like she's hot as hell and she's really good and she's getting better at wrestling too. So it's
exactly.
She's not on Charlotte or Sasha's level yet, but her character is so good.
And she is a good wrestler. You know, it's funny you bring up Trish Stratus because I remember when Trish first, came out, she was a manager for Test and Albert and all that. And, then she began wrestling. And I remember, she was only this hot blonde bombshell. She wasn't really that great of a wrestler. But as time went on, obviously she got better. She got more comfortable in the ring. And then she became one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. And I think that's what you're seeing in Alexa Bliss. You're seeing, the evolution of her. And like you said, it's almost like a Trish kind of Alexa Bliss transition period where, obviously she wasn't that good at first. And then, but it was like a fast turn of events because here she was very green. And now all of a sudden she's coming to her own as the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And she's got it all together. Like Trish Stratus, like everyone at first said, oh, Trish is just this hot girl and she'll never be anything. And then look what Trish Stratus did. Even and I know a lot of people shit on this one, but even Kelly, I think she at first sucked as a wrestler, but I think she was at least decent enough to be called the Divas Champion at that time. And I think even she was improved to an extent. Obviously not a Trish Stratus or a Alexa Bliss, but I think, Kelly was a decent wrestler when all was said and done. But all credit in the world to what Alexa Bliss has accomplished and what she has done in that ring. And she is just, blowing a lot of fans away.
Right. She is. It's just her look too. Damn, she looks like just angry and mean and evil, and I love it. I want to eat the evil out of her. But JD again is sick. That's why he's not joining us. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Sean's View ENT, Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube. He's so close to 100,000 subscribers. I know he gets a lot of shit, and I know that he's had a lot of things, but we're going to try to eliminate that stigma, man, because really, when it comes down to it, you are one of the funnest people to speak to about wrestling, to be honest. I mean, really, this has been great so far. I know me and you, we could do a 4-hour program, no problem. And JD from New York, and myself, and Sean's View, and we just want you to subscribe to my channel, Joe Cronin Show. Joe Cronin Show's about to be at 41,000 something subscribers. You're about to hit 100,000. JD's almost at 70,000. It's crazy, man. It's a wild thing. JD's a juggernaut. Even
though I don't use Twitter as much, I am trying to put my Twitter out there more. So I'm going to throw my Twitter up on this as well. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, and my Facebook fan page would definitely be appreciated as well.
Hey, did you ever hear me when the Hell in the Cell was here? Me and Leo was sitting ringside. Did you see us?
I saw that. Yes, I did see. I was going to go there, but I didn't make it that. And I wanted to be at that event so bad.
Well, I bring it up because I was yelling stuff at the camera, and like it got picked up. Like a lot of stuff got picked up. Like Roman had the kendo stick, and I yelled like, "Hit yourself with it, you idiot!" And like that kept getting picked up by the camera when he was facing Rusev. in that terrible opening Hell in the Cell match. Actually,
God.
It got
I don't know
better,
how we sat through that one.
Dude, well, it's weird. The crowd was so loud there, too, that it was so much better live because everyone was roaring for everything just because the crowd was like, let's go. It's like, and you know what? You brought up the crowd earlier, and I'm glad we came back to this. The crowd, more than ever, I've noticed, plays a part in this stuff so much. If the crowd is like Detroit the other night, you're like, let's go. These people are in on everything. It doesn't even matter. But when you see Raw, the crowd is just dead. It goes hand in hand. It's just like, this sucks.
Like I said, it's like they're part of a TV show. They're not putting their input. They're not being, like I said, back in the Attitude Era, you had the signs. People, were charismatic. People were, just going crazy and wild. You don't get that now. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's sad. I mean, if you were to just look at the fan, and it's funny because WWE now has that camera where they're showing the fans' reactions. And that's why they have to do these things, because the fans aren't reacting to anything that's going on because they don't got nothing good going on.
Exactly. Dude, the fans are just like, people are just becoming like stone-faced in the crowd. Just like, I brought my... And the other thing I noticed is I look around in the crowd and so many less kids. It's so much... It's like 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and even 40-year-olds or upper 30s in the crowd. It's people who are older. It's people my age in the crowd. You go look at it. There's way less kids now. They need to realize that, man, you better do something. Like, you better start getting a little more edgy because you'll, believe it or not, as crazy as you want to be PG and stuff, you're going to attract kids with edginess because you'll be like, oh, I'm not supposed to watch this, but I'm going to watch it. And then you're going to get, the teenagers to be like, actually, this is cool. And then you're going to get people like us who are like, yeah, it's adult again.
Exactly.
I know this.
I'm not even asking for the WWE to go TV 14 because that's not necessarily what it was. Some of the Attitude Era was TV PG, DLV.
Yeah,
that's what it was. People forget that.
Well, SmackDown's doing it. SmackDown's doing it with PG right now. So I'm giving SmackDown like a 7 every week almost. So I mean, if you could just turn it up a little bit, if you could turn it up a little bit more, go a little bit out, a little bit better. You'd hit the sweet spot. You'd be fine. You're right. You don't have to go full on Attitude Era at all. But you just have to write good. Ross stinks, man. Cesaro and Sheamus's bar fight. I've just been harping on that. That thing was way overproduced. It was like a goofy SNL skit when it should have been a raw, authentic feeling. Actual, like, that could have been a bar fight. Like, they could have been filming, and then there could have been a fight.
Yeah, like back in the APA days, that was when a real bar fight went on. That was what looked really realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and even before that, like, you think about, like, when I saw Steve Austin and Brian Pillman's feud, and when I saw Stone Cold break into his trailer, like, Steve Austin made you think he was going to kill somebody, like, not like some wrestling.
Pillman's got a gun. Pillman's got a gun.
Dude, that was like you thought you were going to see a murder on television, even though you knew it wasn't all really real, but you thought maybe that's real.
Yeah.
And
if you can put that vision in people's mind that, oh my God, this could happen, but they're not putting that in our mind now. Like I said, it's overproduced, it's overscripted, and it's so watered down now that it's ridiculous. And people, say to us, well, Sean and Joe Cronin and JD, why do you still watch? We want to watch because we have hope that they're going to change, but they don't freaking change.
Yeah, and they don't. Well, SmackDown did. I mean, we'll say that because everything else has been getting such terrible ratings from me, from week to week. So SmackDown has elevated game, but Raw has just continued to sink. And, like, Jericho is great, but he's, like, he's overshadowing Kevin Owens, who's now become a sideshow, who used to be a Fight Owens Fight TKO.
He's a badass, yeah.
Yeah, now he's just so much like oh, yeah, man, you said that. That was good. That was funny. Like, that's all he says. Like, it's like, no, I want Kevin Owens to kick someone's ass.
Where's the Kevin Owens that came out and confronted John Cena and laid him out the first night? Where's that Kevin Owens?
Yeah, bring that back. I get they're doing a comedy thing, and I get that a lot of this is influenced, believe it or not, I think, really, because Chris Jericho has, like, a hard-on for it, is Matt Hardy. They're seeing Matt Hardy doing the Meek Man, delete, and they're like, oh, we want to do that. We need to start doing some hokey stuff like that. So Jericho came up with the list. Great idea. But it's like, but Owens is getting overshadowed by this whole thing. His title run is abysmal. It's right there with Dean Ambrose's.
Oh, that was horrible. I don't even know why they made Dean Ambrose champion at that point. And once again, it's not the wrestler's fault. It's the booking. It's not Kevin Owens' fault. It's the booking. And you know what? I have to go on to say that Chris Jericho is probably doing some of the best heel work of his entire career. But once again, it's a thing where, you can't go too much because you know that this is going to end into a match at WrestleMania between the two. You just know it's going to happen. And then with the rumors of Braun Strowman winning the Royal Rumble, I don't know about that one.
Oh, my God. Imagine. Who do you think? That's another crazy thing. Let's make that the last thing we speak about tonight. Which we could go on forever, actually, but I got some things to do. And we hope you subscribe to Sean's View and subscribe here to Joe Cronin Show. And you hope you click the like button and leave comments down below that are positive.
And share this video all over Twitter, Facebook, and if you viewers and subscribers appreciate this and like this, show your support, and we'll try to do this thing each and every week if we can, because if this gets over, and I'm talking about more over than X-Pac, then we'll be good.
Well, the Royal Rumble's coming up, and yeah, I just had like an old man laugh. I was like, what the hell is that?
Hey, at least this is all real and organic, and it's not scripted. We didn't talk about this. We just went right live.
Yeah, we didn't even know what we're talking, because we don't have to know what we're talking about. I'm telling you, man. Nope. We just rattle on and go. And I'm not even drinking tonight. Team. What if I start drinking? Like, then it'll be really crazy. I do feel bad for JD. Poor JD's texting me. He said, all right, good night. I'm dying. So everybody...
Well, hey, one thing that I'll tell you what, I'll give JD his credit. His channel isn't dying. I'll tell you that right now.
No, it's rising. We got to figure out what he's doing. He's exploding beyond us. Me and you are like inching towards things, and he is just exploding. So I love it.
Yeah.
But
we'll credit to him.
And
he's doing something right.
I don't know where. I believe we'll be back next week. So don't worry. I don't think I know where it's going anywhere. But me and Sean will also be having a podcast too. Maybe Sean will call up out of nowhere more often. But yeah, this Royal Rumble is crazy right now. We really believe it's a Raw person that's winning because of the Elimination Chamber being in SmackDown, or is that a swerve? And they're gonna somehow do both for SmackDown. That would be weird.
Yeah, that would, and that would be weird. And I don't know with the match card that I've seen leaked for the Royal Rumble, if they expect to fill up the Alamo Dome with 70, 80,000 people, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of free seats given out that night, free tickets. I don't know, because the match card doesn't look that great. And if they're talking about a Braun Strowman winning the Royal Rumble, if you think it was bad when Daniel Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble, can you imagine if Braun Strowman wins the Royal Rumble? Especially if they want to put Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman in the main event of WrestleMania. That's the report. That will be your main event. I can't believe it. I just don't want to believe it.
This would work in the Hulk Hogan days. Like, where in the world was Braun Strowman? Like when Hulk Hogan was in the WWF, like WrestleMania 7. Like, where was Braun Strowman after like instead of King Kong Bundy or after King Kong Bundy? Where was Braun Strowman for Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 7 or 8 or 9? Really, like, this guy could have been so utilized during the Hulk Hogan stuff, and even during maybe the Cena run, but even I just played his music. But even I want to.
We got some audio difficulties, guys.
Yeah, had problems there. But no, even what was I going to say? Even if there was a face who was over really well, and he had to go through all this adversity, Braun would be a great guy to put him up against, or even the Undertaker. Would have been at this point, maybe. But I want to see the Undertaker versus AJ Styles or something. So
that's what they're talking about. That's what's supposed to. That's probably the only main reason Royal Rumble is going to be watchable this year, because they're talking about AJ Styles versus the Undertaker. But then they're saying the Undertaker is questionable because of he just had surgery done. So I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Yeah, I wonder. We don't know how bad his surgery is or what's going on or whatever. All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, I had a blast. Sean,
I thought it was fun. I thought it was off the charts.
We can do this. We got to do this more often. I'm really. We could do 3 hours. Dude, and we could do about everything too. I know we could talk about other stuff besides wrestling. So.
Oh, definitely. Oh, we could go all out.
Let's go all out.
We gotta go over the edge.
We're gonna figure out a schedule and figure out something so we can get more content to you guys.
And actually, viewers and subscribers, I don't know if you guys want to chime in, or me and Joe Cronin can come up with something, but come up with a name for the show, because we got to come up with a name for the show so that you can get related to the show and know what the show's about and know what you're getting into. But I think the fans are gonna like this. We just got to come up with a name, something unique and diverse, and certainly more creative than the WWE.
Yeah, no doubt. Really, kind of, I do something called the State of the WWE, and this was very similar to that, I think. But yeah, we'll have to come up with something else of our own. But dude, it was great to see you guys. Everybody go over and subscribe to Sean's View ENT, Sean's View Entertainment. We haven't joined the dark side. We're just showing you the light. And then, of course, I don't know what that means. And subscribe to me, Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. And hopefully JD gets better. And thank you guys for listening. Click the like button.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Guys, comment down below. We're going to respond. We're going to be uploading this to both of our channels, so you can go check it out on either channel, or maybe jump over to both channels and give your opinion on both channels so we can both see the comments. Please spread the disease everywhere. We like it. And yeah, some people might call this a disease, what we did here, but they're the disease. I think we broke down WWE fairly well. Sean's View, entertainment, Joe Cronin Show. And we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for an announcement.